one thought. As it stands today, viewers, petrol costs 32 rupees. You pay 80 rupees. 79, 78 in some cities, different states differ on what they're paying. But what you should be paying is 32 rupees plus a reasonable tax. What you're paying is 80 rupees. It's daylight robbery. Now, the government's justification is we need this money to run the country. Let me remind the people who run this country that we pay income tax that gets cut out of our salaries before our salaries hit our bank accounts. On top of that, we pay goods and services tax. On every cup of chai and coffee, we pay goods and services tax on everything that we buy and every service that we use. Where is that money going? Let me remind the people who run our country that when you brought in your massive ambitious plan, your brilliant plan of demonetization, the whole point behind demonetization was to bring in all of that black money into the system, make the country strong, strengthen our system in order to make the roads and make India great. Where did all that money go? Let me remind the people who run this country that your whole point behind GST, behind Benami properties, behind the demonetization process was to bring in the black money into the system, to bring in the cash into the system, and to make this windfall profit that will allow us to build India into the country that it should be. Why is it today that taking 40 rupees out of the pockets of a person who is putting fuel into his two-wheeler is the only idea that you have? What happened to everything else? What happened to everything else? What happened to the Swiss bank account money? What happened to the Panama Papers? What happened to everything else? What happened to demonetization? What happened to all of your other grand plans? Why is it that you think that, oh look, petrol only costs 30 rupees, diesel only costs 30 rupees. Let's charge 45 rupees as taxes. That's a good, quick way to make money. And don't palm it off. Don't palm it off as good governance. That's not good governance, that's daylight robbery. It doesn't matter which political party we're talking about. All political parties need to put their heads together, get their act together, and quickly bring this down because we can no longer afford it. We cannot afford onions at the price that they are today. We cannot afford milk at the price that it is today. And if you don't know what the price of onions and milk are, then shame on you, because that is your job. You should know what those prices are, because you influence those prices. If you don't know what those prices are, it means you're just not good enough to do your job. A clear call to the people who run our governments. Either bring this under GST at a maximum of 28% total tax, or reduce the excise and the VAT on petrol and diesel. There is no third option on the table, and you need to do it now. We're going to keep bringing this up and raking this up until you get it right. You cannot sell us the idea of infrastructure and LPG, because we can look around us and we know what kind of infrastructure we don't have. Do this, and do this now, because we are watching.